Can I also say how extremely narcissistic I feel right now watching myself and then making a video about myself watching myself? Hey, it's Sue, and I'm a spine breaker. I don't know how to do that when it's just me. But I've been meaning to do this video for weeks. And I thought, you know, it's really gloomy and gross outside and the lighting is terrible, so why not do it now? Also, someone else beat me to it, and Harriet Rosie actually just put out a video that is pretty much the same thing that I'm doing right now. So I'll put her video below. I'm going to be reacting to my very first book haul that I ever did on this channel. Because I just wanted to see how many of the books I had read, mainly because I kind of went book buying crazy when we first started this channel, and I did a book haul like every month, and I mean like a book haul with like, you know, 20 books or more in it, so it was like ridiculous. So let's check it out. I posted this video. I'm watching it on my laptop down here. It was a fucking journey to finally get this video set up and filmed. I mean, first I did all my hair and makeup because, I don't know, I just wanted to look nice. And then I couldn't find my camera. I finally found it. Then I was gonna watch this video on my phone, but apparently on your phone you can't get past 1 year on our channel. So I emailed it to myself. But then when I went to use my wireless headphones for my phone, because for some reason Google Pixel decided not to put a fucking headphone jack on their phones, which pisses me off, my headphones were dead. Then I was like, fuck it, I'm just gonna watch it on my laptop, which has a headphone jack. So I have some regular ass headphones. So let's go. Yeah, I'm just gonna watch this and see how many books I've read. If I have read them, I'll briefly tell you what I thought of them, and we'll see if I've gotten rid of any that I haven't read. So let's go. Hey, it's Sue in the restricted section. Today I'm bringing you a big ass book haul. I kind of went overboard this month and bought way too many books, but to be fair, I bought a lot of them from Book Outlet when they were having their Boxing Day sale, so they were really cheap, and a lot of them I got from a used bookstore here in town because I traded in some of my books that I didn't want anymore. So let's just jump right into it. I'm going to try to go through them pretty quickly, or else this video is going to be eons and eons long. So let's get going. So first, from Book Outlet, I got In the Shadow of the Banyan. I hope I'm pronouncing it. I have read that book, and I have since gotten rid of it, but I actually really loved it. I gave it 5 stars. I thought it was really beautifully written. I just got rid of it because I didn't really see myself reading it again anytime soon. And I had way too many books. So there's so many things in here that I'm like, I don't know how to pronounce these, so I'm going to try my best. But In the Shadow of the Banyan by Vede Ratner. This book is about a little girl who lives in Cambodia during the revolution. It's about her trying to survive, and she sort of takes comfort in the mythical legends that her father has told her. So it sounds like it will be pretty interesting with the sort of combination of the mythical tales and the actual reality of what's going on. And also the cover is quite beautiful. So moving on. It is pretty. Next from Book Outlet is Sex vs. Survival, The Life and Ideas of Sabina Spielrein. I believe it's Spielrein. I've learned since, but I have also read this one, and I think I gave it like 3 stars. It was interesting, and I think if you're someone who studies psychology, you would maybe really enjoy it, but I thought it was kind of dry and a little boring at times. But I mean, overall, it was an interesting story. Again, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly. By John Lawner. This is about Sabina Spielrein, who is best known for probably for her affair that she had with Carl Jung. This book talks about her other aspects of her life, like the abuse that she overcame and also her contributions to psychology. So I think hopefully that will be pretty interesting. Next I picked up Lilith's Brood by Octavia Butler. This is actually an entire series. There's 3 books included in here. They are Dawn, Adulthood Rights, and Imago. This is about a woman who is in the Andes, mourning the death of her family. I'm just going to read the back of it, okay, because it's complicated. Lilith Iapo is in the Andes mourning the death of her family when war destroys Earth. Centuries later, she is resurrected by miraculously powerful unearthly beings, the Oankali. Driven by an irresistible need to heal others, the Oankali are rescuing our dying planet by merging genetically with mankind. But Lilith and all humanity must now share the world with uncanny, unimaginable alien creatures, their own children. This is their story. So that sounds really... So yes, you probably all already know that I definitely read that whole series and I fucking loved it. Probably my favorite series of all time. 5 stars. It's amazing. Go read it. Really awesome. I've heard really great things about this. I have read a little bit of Octavia Butler before, but I haven't read any of her series yet, and I've heard really great things about all of them, especially this one, so I'm pretty excited to read this. Good. Next we have The Apprentice, My Life in the Kitchen by Jacques Pepin. I thought there'd be a lot less. If you haven't heard of Jacques Pepin, he is a chef who worked with Julia Child, and this is his story. Yeah, I read that and I still have it because I have a special place in my heart for Jacques Pepin. I used to watch him on PBS, which I think I'm getting ready to say in this video, so I'll probably just skip that. But yeah, I used to watch him as a kid with Julia Child, and I just loved him and Julia, and so yeah, I really enjoyed his autobiography. I thought it was really good, or memoir, whatever. What's the difference between an autobiography and a memoir? I don't know. The next book I got is also a sort of celebrity memoir called Not My Father's Son by Alan Cumming. Alan Cumming is an actor both on screen and on stage, and his father was extremely abusive to him as a child, and if I'm not mistaken, I believe he was on one of those like celebrity genealogy shows, and they discovered, I think, don't quote me on this, but I think they discovered that his father was not actually his real father or something along those lines. So this is, I think, going to be a really different kind of celebrity memoir, and one that's, you know, sort of delves a lot deeper, and I think it's going to be really fascinating. I don't know too much about Alan Cumming's career. Yeah, I haven't read this yet. I did actually start it a couple months ago, and then I had to put it down for other things, but I am planning to read it hopefully in November and it's going to be my celebrity memoir for my Read Harder challenge, and that's the last challenge I have to complete, so I will read that book very soon. The next book I got from Book Outlet was The Catcher in the Rye by J.D. Salinger. I'm sure you've all heard of this book. It's a classic. It's a coming-of-age story about a rather cynical teenager. It's been on my to-read list for a while, so glad I finally have it. Yes, I have read The Catcher in the Rye since then, and I really liked it. It's a pretty polarizing book. A lot of people hate it, but I loved it. I feel like I gave it 4 stars, but honestly it's one of those that it's like the more you think about, or the more I thought about it, the more I liked it. So I would maybe even up it to like at least 4.5, maybe 5 stars, because I loved it. I don't know, and I kind of loved Holden Caulfield. A lot of people are like, oh, he's just a like whiny little brat, but I felt bad for him. I wanted to like give him a hug and tell him everything was gonna be okay. The next book I got was The Book of Strange New Things by Michelle Faber. This book is about a missionary who goes on a mission trip far away, and it changes his life basically, and his beliefs and his love for his wife. So it sounds pretty fascinating. That I have not read yet. I've almost read it a few times and just never pulled the trigger on that one, but I still have it. It's right here, I think. Boom. Right there. So I still do plan to read it because it sounds really interesting to me. But yeah, that's number 2 that I haven't read yet. Next I have A Constellation of Vital Phenomena by Anthony Mara. This book is about a little girl whose father is abducted by Russian soldiers and her house is set on fire, and so her neighbor takes her in and they go to live at an abandoned hospital. I think the book only covers 5 days. It says it is a story of the transcendent power of love in wartime, so sounds touching. Yeah, I haven't read that one yet. I really want to because I've heard nothing but amazing things about that book and Anthony Mara's other book, which I also have, which is the God of, what's it called? The God of Love and Techno or something. That could be wrong. But, sorry, my pets are being crazy. Also, if you hear weird noises, it's because there's a squirrel that lives in my ceiling. Fun times. Yeah, so that's number 3 that I haven't read. Next, these are the books that I got from a local bookshop here called Hooked on Books, and I traded in some old books that I had to get these, so I think I ended up paying like $2 for all these books.
How white my teeth
the first one I picked up was Go Tell It on the Mountain by James Baldwin. This book, I believe, is his first novel that he ever wrote, and it's about a family living in Harlem and sort of about their trials and tribulations, I guess you could say. I still have not read that one either, so that's number 4, right? 4 or 5? Now I lost count already. Maybe when I edit it, I'll count it and put it up at the end or something. But yeah, I have not yet read that one. It's another one that I still have on my shelf and still want to read, but haven't done it. I haven't read any James Baldwin yet, but I've heard a lot of great things about him, so I'm pretty excited to pick this one up and see what I think, and maybe I'll read some more later on. The next book I got was Cocoon by David Saperstein, or Saperstein. This is a sci-fi book about an alien race that comes back to Earth. And the last time they were here, Atlantis was a thing, but of course now Atlantis is gone, and so they're trying to uncover something that they left behind, some treasure that they left behind in need. You might have heard. I like how you can still hear pet noises in that video too. But yeah, I have not read that one yet either. Again, still own it, still plan to read it, although I have heard like pretty mediocre things about it, but it still sounds cool. I haven't seen the movie either, but I'm still gonna read it someday. Someday soon. This because it's was made into a movie, I think maybe in the 90s, I'm not sure, but I love sci-fi and aliens really freak me out, so I think I'll probably like it. The next one I got from the used bookstore was Time Travel in Einstein's Universe by J. Richard Goss.
So well at the beginning.
This book is about pretty much exactly what the title says, about how time travel may be possible in Einstein's model of the universe. And I love anything that involves time travel. Still love time travel, still haven't read that book. I do still have it. I've considered getting rid of it just because I think the information in it is probably pretty out of date, but I don't know. I still kind of want to read it because I think a lot of it probably would still be relevant, so maybe I'll read that. I thought about reading it, trying to read it next month for Nonfiction November, but we'll see. If a movie or book involves time travel, it could be terrible and I'll probably still like it.
True.
It fascinates me. So I thought, hey, maybe I should actually learn about, you know, the possibility of real time travel. So I think I'll probably really like this. The next book I got is one that has been talked about a lot on BookTube, I think, but it is The Storied Life of A.J. Fickery by Gabrielle Zevin. This is about a man who owns a bookstore and is kind of on hard times, and then a really prized possession of Poe, what is it, Poe poems? Yeah, gets stolen from him. and then he gets a mysterious package and kind of his life is just turned upside down. I have read that and I did not care for it. I felt like it was very emotionally manipulative, I'll say. So I think I gave it like 3 stars because I didn't hate it, but I wasn't a fan. And I did have since gotten rid of my copy of it. So I've heard a lot of hype about this one, so hopefully it lives up to it. And then the last one I got from the used bookstore was Neutron Stars, and this is edited by Gregory Fitzgerald. And this is a collection of science fiction stories. The only one I'd actually heard of in here is I Sing the Body Electric by Ray Bradbury. I have not yet read that collection of stories either. My first book outlet ones, I've read a lot of those, but the used bookstore ones, I don't know if I'm more likely to buy things I don't actually want if I'm in a used bookstore, if it's like physically, I don't know. I mean, I still intend to read all those, so. And that was enough for me to want to get it. I haven't read that yet, but I love Fahrenheit 451, and so I wanted to read that, and I thought, why not read all these other ones too? I love sci-fi. So that's all of those, but wait, there's more. I also got from Amazon, you might think that I've watched this video so much that I was quoting myself, but really I just am so predictable that I was gonna say that. That was just a coincidence. Because I'm really predictable. This comic book called Bitch Planet. This is also highly talked about on BookTube, I believe, and I've heard mostly good things about it. This is volume 1, of course, and in this comic, anytime a woman commits any sort of indiscretion, she's sent to this big women's prison on a planet known as Bitch Planet. I have read Bitch Planet volume 1 and volume 2 now, and I really enjoy that comic book series, and I loved volume 2. Volume 1 was good, but volume 2 was like amazing. And yeah, so it sounds like a lot of female badassery. So okay, and now I'm down to my last little stack of books. These are books that I got from Barnes & Noble. The first one is Landline by Rainbow Rowell. As you can see, it was a bargain book, and it's kind of jacked up a little, but you know, it was cheap. This is about a woman whose marriage is failing, and her husband and children leave to go on vacation, and she stays behind because she has to for work. And while they're gone, she discovers that she can communicate with her husband, but it's her husband in the past. So first of all, it involves sort of time travel, so I'll probably like it. But yeah, she uses this communication to try and she's hoping she can save her marriage. I have read that, and I actually did not care for that one. I don't remember what rating I gave it. I want to say maybe 2 stars, because I found the husband to be unlikable. I was kind of rooting for them to not be together. I didn't like that, and I think I gave that book to my mom. I think she actually maybe did like it, but I didn't care for it. The next book I got was Fingersmith by Sarah Waters. This is a historical fiction novel that's about a woman named Sue, yeah, that's me, who was orphaned and grew up among petty thieves known as fingersmiths. And she's approached by this con man and asked to help him seduce this gentlewoman, and she agrees, but she comes to care for this gentlewoman in unexpected ways. I have not yet read Fingersmith either. It's kind of one of those books that I think I mostly haven't read because it's quite large, but I still own it and still really want to read it. I've heard kind of mixed things about Sarah Waters. I feel like some people really love her and some people are not that into her, so we'll see. We'll see which way I swing there. I've heard really good things about this, and it sounds pretty great. And this is it, guys. This is the last book. It is The Road by Cormac McCarthy. This is a post-apocalyptic novel about a father and son who are walking through the devastation that is Earth, trying to get to the coast. And I think it's just about them, you know, trying to survive and defend themselves against the sort of outlaw My cat is chewing on my foot right now. So this is about them trying to survive and sort of about their relationship with each other. And Megan already read this and she said it was really good, but it was sad. Yes, I have read that. That was actually one of the first reviews that we ever did on our channel, was a review of The Road. Don't go watch it because our early reviews were pretty terrible. Our reviews now are not great. We're not super good at it because we don't prepare for things, and you really need to for reviews, I think. But I really liked that book. I thought it was a very good book, but holy shit, is it just bleak and devastating. So make sure you're in the right mind frame before reading it. But I really liked it. I think I gave it like 4 stars, maybe 4.5 or something. It was really good. So I think I'll still like it though. I love the post-apocalyptic dystopian novels. Why do people love them so much? I don't know, but I'm one of them. So anyway, that's all the books that I bought this month. Yeah, thank you for watching. And let me know if you've read any of these books and what you thought of them. And please subscribe if you'd like to, and I'll see you next time. Bye! I was just kidding about that being all. I forgot one. I also got this from Barnes & Noble. It is The Serpent of Venice by Christopher Moore. I also got this one from the Bargain Books. This one is a satire about 3 scoundrels who are trying to gain power and wealth, and it's supposed to be funny and also have some mystery and some romance and some drama. And I gotta be honest, I mostly got it because, I mean, look how pretty it is. Caligula, come here. I'm gonna hold you. I'm gonna hold you. So I have not read that book yet either. I was kind of waiting to read The Merchant of Venice before I read it because I figured I would understand it better if I had read the source material. So I still have that book. I still think it's beautiful, so I still held on to it. And I've heard good things about Christopher Moore, so I'm hoping that I will like him. But I do want to read The Merchant of Venice first because I've never read that. Alright, I think that's it. So, reflections. I find it kind of interesting that, like, most of the used books I bought, I still haven't read. Like, I wonder if there's something there, like I'd rather read new pretty books. If so, I kind of hate that about myself. Are you gonna bark if I let you go? Because I'm gonna be mad if you do. So I wonder if there's like some subconscious reason for that. Like maybe it's just that it's booktube, and like on booktube usually newer books are kind of promoted more. So maybe I just gravitate toward the newer books on my shelves because I want something more relevant to talk about. I don't know, but I definitely read a lot more of the book outlet books than anything else. But what does that say about me? I love buying used books, but do I love reading used books? I don't know. In terms of like the books that I bought, I haven't gotten rid of any of them that I haven't read yet. I'd gotten rid of a couple that I had already read and didn't like, or just didn't care for, but I still own all of those, the unread ones, and still plan to read them. So I don't think my taste has changed any. My taste has always been very eclectic and all over the place, and I think that it will remain that way, although I have become more heavy on the sci-fi than I think I was before, although there was obviously sci-fi in that haul too. So I think my taste is fairly the same and has been most of my life, since most of my adult life, I would say. Here I'll count and see how many there were total, how many I have read, and how many I have not read. I just find it funny when I see people who are like, oh man, I really need to read this book. It's been on my shelf for a year and it's my oldest book I own. And I'm like, bitch, please. Like, that was my first book haul, and I would say probably at least half. We'll see what the real number is, but at least half of it I still haven't read, and I still own them, and that was almost 3 years ago. And I have books much older than that on my shelves that I bought before we had our channel, that I bought when I was in college, which was like 8 years ago, that I haven't read yet. So 1 year ain't nothing to me. yeah, I think that I'm going to end it there. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.